What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Power Book 2, Season 5, Episode 3. I'm behind, but we getting caught up. So, listen. Detective, child, I had to write these people's names down. You know me and these names, honey. Michael Ealy's character. He down on the docks putting together this whole situation. Detective Young. This whole situation with Tariq and the Russians and the green cards and all of these things are and Tate. All of these things are coming together, right? And so none of them believe that what, Tariq's version of the story about what happened with, the FBI detective and all of that. The reality of the situation is we knew nobody was going to believe that. We didn't believe it either. Okay? Now, while this is going on, you got Kane and Drew running amok on New York streets looking for who shot at Monet. Hello, the call is coming from inside of the house, okay? But Kane is starting to realize something ain't right. He said, listen, I've been walking around here breaking necks, breaking arms, doing whatever I need to do, and nobody's saying anything. Nothing is shaking out of the trees, okay? While that's going on, Diana is down at the CVS getting a pregnancy test. Spoiler alert, she pregnant, okay? I think that has probably been the worst kept secret in the Power universe since last season when we found out about the casting call with them looking for a baby. Now, the reality of the situation is it looks like the baby they were looking for wasn't for Diana, but it looks like it was for these flashback scenes with Monet and when she was young and had the babies. But I said that too. I said it could be flashback scenes or it could be Diana because in the Power world, things just don't move that fast. Like, people just don't, all of a sudden, it's not, 9 months later, okay? But neither here nor there. Diana's pregnant. Of course, it's going to be Tariq's baby, and I guess we'll address that at a later day. Tariq and Brandon are back down at college as if nothing ever happened. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying. Brayden is living in Tariq's dorm. His parents, they have to sell the house. He is still banished, from the house. And all of those things are the things. Monet is trying to rehab, okay? She is at the house. Her sister's taking care of her. She's trying to rehab. And that is pretty much all of the things that we have going on. Now, Noma is down at her spot with Ali. And she's just trying, she said, listen, with the Russians being out or with their supply being taken down, that's a perfect way for me to get in where I fit in with the Russians. The only problem is we know that the Russians have this very, fragile truce with Monet and her organization. Well, her organization has been corrupted and taken over pretty much by Noma's organization. But Monet is upset when she finds out that Noma wants to go and work with the Russians because she was like, listen, that's going to mess up my whole connect. That's going to mess up my situation. We'll get back to that in a second. Now, Noma does not trust Oli, okay? She knows that there's something going on with these green cards because she finds it very suspicious that all of a sudden his brother got these green cards. Now, he's telling her, listen, I got them the way everybody else gets them. I pushed forward and I did what I needed to do to get my green cards. Davis is struggling, okay? He has to go before the bar. His wife is divorcing him. I think that's in the next episode, but child, I'm just going ahead and tell y'all. His wife is divorcing him, and he is spiraling, all right? He's already had to downsize his office and probably fire every daggone body, and he is struggling to stay afloat, okay? He ends up sleeping with his, the one associate that he kept on payroll, which that's probably not going to end well, but I don't know if that's a real story or just something they threw in there because to show how heartbroken he is about his whole marriage falling apart. I don't even know. But neither here nor there. He ends up, we find out that it's Jenny coming after him. Probably because that's her way of, getting rid of her guilt for what happened with Sachs and all of that. So she's the one that's leading the charge to try to take his law license and, say that he did all the things that he wasn't supposed to do. And it looks like he ain't getting it back no time soon. It doesn't look good for Davis. It does not look good for Davis, okay? Which, of course, is the reason that's going to be the catalyst into Davis, totally crossing over to the dark side. I mean, right now, he's sort of tiptoeing along the line, but this is going to be the catalyst for him to totally cross over to the dark side. He loses his law license, right? Now down to the Tejada household, Monet want to know why they can't seem to find who shot at her. And Kane is like, listen, Ma, we trying our best. We doing what we can. We doing what the best we can. But shoot, we don't know either. Because the call is coming from inside the house. Now we go down to Stansfield and we see that Tariq is back in class with both of his exes and all of the people. It's not nautical. I mean, it's not that same class they've been taking for the last 3 seasons. It's some new class, but it's the same conversation. You know, the debate between good and evil and why you choose right, why you choose wrong, and the consequences of the bad decisions. Child, I don't care. I feel like they have the same conversation every time they get in this room, but it's just a whole, ends up being a whole debate or whatever. Now, Effie rose up on Tariq after class and was like, listen, I did what I had to do. You did what you had to do. Are we good now? Are we even? And Tariq was like, I'm sorry, you had me, like, I'm sorry, ma'am, like, they almost even. There's no such thing as even. Now, while this is going on, Detective Young done rolled up on McClain right after he left his hearing, where he pretty much found out that his law license is in jeopardy for real. And Young is letting McClain know, listen, I know your connection to Tariq. I know your connection to all of these things. And, why don't you go ahead and tell me what's going on? Why don't you go ahead and give me the heads up so I can get this, I can solve this crime sooner rather than later, And maybe, just maybe, I can help you out. Because, I have connections down at the bar. And he's alluding to the fact that his connections are the reason why McClain had a hard day in front of the bar. And, like, if you, play ball with me, I can help you out. Now, personally, I don't know whether he did or he didn't, because I feel like Jenny has a strong hold on the bar as well. But it's neither here nor there. McClain basically told him, you know where to go and you know how to get there. Bruh. Okay? Now, Effie is trying to do what Effie always does and tries to, move it on up, And so she rolls up on Noma and says, listen, I can get you your connect with the Russians. And Noma is like, little girl, like, stop playing games with me. And she was like, I'm not playing games. Like, I can get you in. So Effie rolls up on the Russians. And this has got to be the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Effie rolls up on the Russians and tells the Russians, yeah, I can help your daughter make the swim team at college. What? Effie showed some paperwork of where she fudged his daughter's time so that she can have a better swim record and so she can make the swim team. You mean to tell me this very powerful Russian who runs a conglomerate he don't know nobody that can do that for him? He need Effie. He need the little college girl to do that for him. Child bye. Anyway. So, of course, Effie rolls up in there, right? You know what I mean? Of course, Effie rolls up in there, and she gets this guy to do business with her. So, she sets up the meet between him and Noma, and it's going down. Now, while this is happening, we get a flashback of Monet. We see Monet back in the day. She got her 1990s, flashback, Mary J. Blige, side swoop, hairdo. And we see a young Lorenzo who's basically a corner boy at this point. And it shows that even from day one, Monet always wanted more. Monet is like, listen, we living in this rat and roach infested apartment with our baby, and you a corner boy, and you ain't making enough so we can get out of here. I need you to ask them for a bigger package. I need you to ask them to give you more products so we can make more money so we can get the hell out of here. And Lorenzo is like, Monet, I need you to chill out. That's not how this works. I'm working on it, but it's a slow process. Monet was like, the hell with a slow process. I gotta go. So we see that Monet went behind Lorenzo's back and got a bigger package without him. Okay? So, of course, he gets pissed off about it. And he was like, how the hell you gonna go to my boss behind my back, making me look like an old, weak, punk-ass punk, and gonna convince them that it's a good idea to give you a bigger package? Monet was like, listen, I did what had to be done. Okay? And then we see that she riding around town with her sister in the car with a weapon in the diaper bag, or in the baby's car seat, so that she can, deliver her product. So we're getting some backstory of Monet. We're seeing some flashbacks and all that. while that's going on. Now, down to the Stansfield Student Union, there's a new band playing that Braden is in love with the lead singer. Y'all know how Braden is. Braden find him a new woman every season, child. But he, he is all caught up and in love. She's so beautiful, yada, yada, yada. Now, Young, while this is going on, Young done pulled up on Tariq because Tariq has work study. Now that he's lost his trust fund and now that he don't have no money, he is there on work study. So we see him working the library, the laundry room, the cafeteria. He working on grounds. He changing light bulbs. He's sweeping up the state. Like, he doing everything around Stansfield. He went from one extreme to the other, child. Agent Young, or Detective Young, whoever he is, he done rolled up on Tariq once again. Basically, the same thing everybody else does. Tariq, I know it was you. I know who your daddy is. I know that I don't believe your story about what happened. I think that, and then somehow these green cards keep coming up. I ain't never seen so many people so engrossed in a green card. I mean, I guess they're right because the green cards, do have something to do with all of this, but at the same damn time, I'm really sitting here like, why are we discussing green cards? But anyway, Tariq does what Tariq always does. He does that, no, sir, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Yes, sir, I would never do such a thing. And of course, Detective Young was like, listen, bruh, I know the tricks you play. I know the games you playing. You don't know me. You don't know more than I know. You don't know more about this than I know about it, okay? Now, while this is going on, Noma is meeting up with the Russians. Monet decides that she got to roll up in there and she got to let her presence be known because she can't let Noma keep walking in and encroaching upon her territory. Now, while this is happening, it ends up being a whole shootout situation. Monet ends up passing out because she should not be out there. She is still, dealing with what she's dealing with. She's still halfway on the narcotics for the pain and everything else. So she ends up passing out. And, of course, they had to get her ass home. Tariq calls Davis and was like, yo, what's up with Detective Young? Who is this guy? And Davis was like, yo, he ain't nobody to really be played with. He looking, he hungry, he trying to get this and he trying to get that. And Tariq was like, yeah. I felt that. Okay, I felt that. Back at the house, Monet wakes up and she want to know what happened. And they had to tell her, yo, you totally messed it up. You could have cost everybody everything. What the hell were you thinking and what were you doing? And Monet is starting to think that Kane is the one that shot her. She's like, listen, I don't understand why it's taking y'all so long to figure something out unless the person don't want to be found. Unless the person does not want to be found. Okay? Now, when Tariq was talking to Detective Young, he did rattle Tariq's cage a little bit and told Tariq that his mama was almost getting ready to be out of Witsat. And, they ain't like what she did, that she went rogue, and she's basically on her last leg. Now, here's the part, y'all. I've let a lot of stuff slide in this review because it's a week late, and I just don't have the energy to go in and be so in-depth when I got a whole nother episode to bring y'all, review to bring y'all. But this one right here, I can't let slide. I cannot let this one slide. So you mean to tell me that this is not the first time, this is not the second time, maybe it's the second time. But either way, this is the third, let's say this is the third time that Tasha has had to change location, name, and everything else. You mean to tell me that they left her close enough that Tariq can literally drive there? Now, mind you, Tariq don't even have no car. I don't know how Tariq got to wherever the hell she is. But she was close enough that Tariq could get there in a drive, in less than a day's drive. She working at some Walmart style, situation. And, of course, Tariq is like, Mom, what you doing? Why you working here? And then the manager comes over and does what a manager is supposed to do and tell her, I'm sorry, you need to get back to work. Now, it does look like, he went to go put his arm around her, which alluded to the fact that maybe, he was pushing up on Tasha. I don't know if they did the do or not, but Tariq was like, yo, Ma, you gonna let that man just put his hands on you like that? And she was like, Tariq, look, I'm doing what I gotta do because Witsat is about to kick me out, okay? I'm doing what I gotta do to take care of the family. I need you to go the hell back, and I need you to do what you gotta do. So Tariq thought that it was after everything, Young done told you your mama about to be put out, your mama done told you she about to be put out. So you thought it was a good idea to meet the manager in the parking lot, whoop his ass, and steal his car. That's what you got out of this? Ooh, Tariq irritates my soul. So neither here nor there. Effie has an opportunity to apply for this program. You know, Effie is always so smart and she's got all these great opportunities. But she's got to fix. But Kane, Noma told Kane he need to fix what happened with the Russians because his mother fucked it up. So now Kane is struggling trying to figure out how he going to do it. He calls Effie while she getting ready for her meeting, for her interview for this scholarship for like grad school or whatever. But she drops it to go help Kane. And she's able to convince the Russians to do business with her, with Noma, by promising them a bunch of weapons. Mind you, these were weapons that Noma didn't know that she was giving away to the Russians. But like they told her later on, listen, you got to do what you got to do to get what you need to get. Sometimes, you know, we got to make executive decisions. Sometimes we can't wait and hear what you have to say. We got to make the decision that we have to make, okay? Now, Drew is desperate to get rid of Monet to the point where he getting ready to switch out her pills and make her overdose on her narcotics. And Diana talks him out of it, tells him, listen, we can't do it this way. Like, you know, this ain't gonna work. We can't do it. And Drew was like, I just can't deal with her anymore. I just can't live like this anymore. Now, while they having this conversation about whether to kill her or not, she listening. And then later on, she ends up having a conversation where her sister talking about something. I think I lost my kids. You think? Ma'am, you just got shot by somebody you still don't know who did it. And you overheard your children contemplating making you overdose on your own supply. Well, this was a legal supply. It was her pain medication. But still. While this is going on, the car that Tariq stole from his mama's boss breaks down on the side of the road. He calls Braden to come and get him at some side of the road cafe. He said, man, I don't even have enough money to get me a ride share or Uber back to the city because we still don't even know how far you were. Braden shows up and Tariq was like, listen, bro, I'm not doing this. We got to get back in. I don't have no money. I don't like living like this. You work in real estate for your auntie and I can't even get on my app and get me a ride somewhere. I don't even have a car. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So Tariq said, first of all, we need some money because we don't even have no money, okay, first of all. Second of all, once we get some money, we need to get a connect because the deal I made with Noma was that I wasn't going to get back in the game, okay? So Tariq goes and steals his car back from, not 2 Bits. Y'all know who he stole it from. Was it 2 Bits? 2 Bits was the one that died. He went back and stole his car because all this time he had the spare damn key. So all he had to do was just find him, roll up on him, and take the key. And take the car, which he did. Then we see Detective Young rolling up on Oli and tells him, listen, I know you got them green cards from Tate, and I know Tate know Tariq, so you coming with me. And he ends up yoking up Oli and, taking him in for questioning. Now, that's how the episode ends. I know there's a whole nother episode. I'm going to get y'all that as soon as possible, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.